First of all, I want to say thank you for all of the comments, the likes, the loves, the feedback for the first video, and I took it all in, and we're going to use it to make our new videos. And I want you guys to continue to give me feedback because I appreciate it. Listening to the comments and thinking about what we had going on right now, I thought that one of the easiest things to do during Super Bowl weekend was to do a couple of quick things that we can use for a party that you're using at your house, or maybe at somebody else's house with the environment that's a little different. So I had an idea to just do a buffalo chicken dip. So to do it is pretty simple. We're going with boneless, skinless thighs, and you can kind of see these guys here. There's a little bit of fat on it. It's kind of up to you if you want to use it or cut it off. It's your preference. I also have some sour cream, mayo, hot sauce, and of course, cream cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to bake these thighs at about 350 for maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. And once these are done, we're going to chop it up, and then we're going to put it in sour cream. Cream cheese. So what's going to happen is, actually, let's take a step back and say, we're going to use a hot wing rub on the thighs here. We're going to use this rub here. This rub happens to be a hot wing seasoning and rub by Spice Rack Trading Company. So these are coming, and you'll have them for sale. They work well on chicken, and actually I used it on some fish too. So it works out pretty good, and it's got a great taste. So just look out, and you'll see they'll be available online. I'm hoping in about a month. I'm still waiting to hear back from the bottling company and all that stuff. So this guy here, all I'm gonna do is season this, turn it over. And if you remember what I was saying in the last video, which I kind of messed up a little bit, is I'm using this hand for dry things. This hand I'm going to use for the chicken and raw products. So now that I've got the seasoning on the chicken here, if you want to, you can actually marinate this for an hour or two. Just put the seasoning on, sit in the refrigerator for maybe 2 hours. It'll help to stick on there and get into the meat. So it's up to you. But this guy, I'm just gonna put it in the oven 350 for a couple hours. And the next part of this is the actual cream cheese. So what we're gonna do is, and I'll show it to you, is we're gonna warm the cream cheese. We'll put it in a pan just like this. When this is close to being done, we'll stick that in there, soften it up a little bit. When this is done, we'll chop it up, and then we'll throw it into the softened cream cheese. We'll put the sour cream, the mayo, and the hot sauce, and a little bit more rub. Toss it up, stick it in the oven again for maybe a half an hour, and then you'll be done. And then at that point, it'll be time to eat. So that said, the next part of this is sticking this in the oven. So I'll be seeing you guys soon when this is close to being done. Carrying the football theme, I thought to myself that I'd do a simple guacamole. Typical guacamole has got guacamole in it, lime juice, a little bit of salt and pepper, tomatoes, red onions, garlic. All those things make a great guacamole. This is what I'm gonna call is it's almost like a short version of a guacamole. I like to cut things, so for me it's easy. I just sit down and not sit down. I just do the cutting of the onions, the tomatoes, the garlic, all of that stuff, and just throw it all together. This guy here, we're gonna do a simple one. So the first part is you're gonna take this guy here and you're gonna run it around like this, right? And then what you do is you take the knife and you pop it in there like that, and then this will come out. All Right, so this guy here is a little riper than what I want. You can tell by the darker colors here. It's still good, but you know, with avocado, as it sits, it gets riper, and once it gets riper, it gets a little darker. So this guy here, it was on its way out, but it's good that we're doing it now, because honestly, it's still gonna taste good. They're still gonna love it. So first thing is, we're gonna use a non-reactive glass bowl. The reason we're doing that is because if you're leaving it there and you're putting lime in it, it's going to eat into the lining of it. So a lot of times the easiest thing to do is just to use a non-reactive bowl, a plastic one or a glass one or something like that. So our short version is, we're actually going to buy, I actually bought a hot pico de gallo, and you know, you can find it in the store. So these things already have red onions, jalapenos, they have garlic in it, red onions, all that good stuff. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna stick that guy in there, a spoonful, and then at this point, I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of lime juice, and then we're just gonna take this guy. Now, I didn't add a whole lot because some people may like their guacamole a little chunkier. I like mine a little chunky. If you want it a little soupier, then you can use more. Use more tomato, use a little more lime juice too. It's really a taste thing. I like guacamole just because the versatility of it is you can kind of do whatever you want to do, you know. You're not subject to whatever you get from the store. Like I said, this is the easy way to do it, and you see how easy it was to get the avocado out. So this guy is actually done. I'm actually going to use a little bit of salt. This is actually, for me, what I do is I keep a little container that has salt and pepper in it. That way, when I go to pick it up, it has everything in it. So this guy is actually a pink salt with a little bit of black pepper in it. You can kind of see that in there. So I mix that in there, and mix that in there. This is done. I'll just stick it in the refrigerator. Now what I'm going to tell you is, when you're storing guacamole with this little bit of amount here, you want to put it in a smaller container, and you want to take a piece of clear wrap, and you want to lay the clear wrap directly on top of the guacamole. Once it's in a container, you put this layer of clear wrap in it, and then you put your top. The reason what you're doing is you're actually taking the air out of it, because once the air starts to hit this, it starts to turn colors, which is why, you know, you see this already happening. It's partly because of the ripeness of it and because it was sitting there. A good look. Like I was saying, we'll put this in a small container. There's a little piece here that we're not even going to use just because this guy was riper than what we wanted, so we'll throw that out. This guy, we're going to put it in a container, and we are ready for the Super Bowl. So, chicken set, it actually cooked for just over an hour and a half at 350. Right towards the end of this cooking, I took the cream cheese, stuck it in the oven to soften it. A couple things I want to say about the chicken. This is dark meat. Like I said, you can use a mix of dark meat and white meat, or you can do all white meat. It's up to you. It gives you a different texture if you do both, but it's good either way. The second thing I want to say is that you can either take these and dice it and chuck it and throw it in there, or you can actually shred it, basically pull it, and you'll have more of a consistency. Really depends on what you want. And if you're gonna shred it, all you really gotta do, oh, and look at our chicken. That's a great color. This is based on the hot wing rub. That's the only thing I put on here, so it's got a great color. So keep in mind, when you want to do something like just hot wings, you can use this hot wing rub, and it'll give you a great color. And we'll do another video on hot wings, whether you're using actual like wings with tips or you're using a frozen one. We can do both. All right, so in any case, like I said, I'm gonna take these guys and you see all you gotta do, if you're pulling it, you don't have to use your hands because it's probably a little warm right now. So these guys here, we're just gonna take it and pull it apart like that. Now, I could have put it on the cutting board and showed it to you, but I thought, you know what, let's leave it in the pan. If there's any juice or anything like that, we'll run it off. But there was hardly any juice in here, actually. So, in any case, man, it's crazy. I was actually working on a hot rub, another hot rub that I was messing around with. So, a small note, if you're doing a video, try not to have peppers in your nose because it makes you sniffle a lot. In any case, so, all right, these guys are pretty shredded up. I'm gonna take these guys here, I'm gonna throw them in there, like that. Just throw that guy down there, like that. Put that in there. So you end up with a nice amount of chicken in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple of these, actually really 2 spoonfuls of the sour cream. And then we're gonna take a little bit of mayo. I do this to cream it out a little bit with the sour cream too, and then it gives you a different taste. We can do a bunch of different types of dips, and a lot of times I start out with the sour cream, the mayo. Sometimes I'll throw Parmesan cheese in there, or like a cheddar or something like that if you're doing like a bacon dip or something like that. So they all start this way. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of hot sauce in there. And then I'm gonna grab the hot wing rub, a little bit more. Do that. And then we're gonna take and mix this up. So you can see you end up with a good color. And it's chunky. And you'll notice that I didn't put any other seasoning here but the hot wing. I didn't put salt or pepper on it. A lot of times it's hard to get salt out once it's in there. So with these types of things, you know, mayo has got a little bit of salt in it. Sour cream has salt in it. Hot sauce has salt in it. So the best thing to do is to get everything mixed together, throw it in the oven for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Temperature still at 350. And then we'll try it. We're all done. This is what it ends up looking like for the chicken dip, hot wing dip, excuse me. See, it's got a good color. You taste it and you determine whether or not you want to add more spices. You can stick it back in there. The good thing about this is that whatever you don't use, you can stick it in a container, throw it in the refrigerator. It'll hold in the refrigerator for about a week. And actually you can freeze it. If you freeze it, I'd say put like some saran wrap before you put the top on the container. And it'll hold for some time, not a long time, so don't leave it in the freezer for a year. And this is the guacamole. And usually you can get it a little lighter, but this color is based on some of that darker avocado that we pulled out, and noticed again that's tied to the ripeness of it. So that I said, let's give it a try. So it's good. It's creamy. It's got the heat. Depending on who you're dealing with, you got to determine whether or not it's too hot for the crowd or not. It's kind of up to you, but this is good to me. I like it exactly where it is. I'm gonna try this a little bit too. It's got a good pop for the red onion, the lime. I can taste it. What I would tell you is, I would probably add a little bit of salt for me, but again, everybody's salt levels are a little different. So try it and determine if you want to put it in there or not. On this, I'm gonna try this again because I didn't get a piece of chicken. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try with 2 pieces here. That's the downside when you have the bigger pieces, but you can still get to it. That wasn't cute. It's good. The chicken is tender. The pop from the hot wing rub comes through. Again, like I said, I didn't put any seasoning in it other than the hot wing. No salt, no pepper, anything like that. But that's great. These will be good at your Super Bowl party. Try it yourself. Give me comments. Give me feedback. Again, thank you. Thanks for being patient as I work through some of the technical difficulties, but I'm taking all your feedback and your comments, and every day we're going to work on getting these videos better. And also, we're going to come up with some ideas. It's soup season, so there's a couple soups I'm thinking about doing. Maybe like a chicken noodle, butternut squash, so white bean, a few different things like that. It's also stew season, so we're gonna do that. And I did hear the comment for the oxtail, so that's somewhere coming. And then we'll do other things. And like I said, as the rubs come out, just follow Facebook, Spice Rack Trading Company. Again, Jamal Fuller, Spice Rack Trading Company, Spice Rack Catering. Enjoy your day, and hope you enjoy the Super Bowl.